In any environment where data is king, there's one scenario that's the stuff of nightmares. So what happens when the very heart of your data storage just stops beating? Today, we're going to walk through the playbook for one of the most critical IT incidents you can face, a total NAS failure.
You know the feeling, that gut punch of a message that just freezes everything. The NAS is broken. That one server, the one holding all your critical files, your records, your entire workflow is just gone. The real question isn't if this might happen, but what you do in those first few critical moments right after it does.
And let's be absolutely clear about this. This isn't just a tech problem for the IT department to fix. No way. A network-attached storage failure is a full-blown business continuity incident. It's a direct threat to your operations, your reputation, and, yeah, your bottom line.
So let's dive into the immediate impact. The second that central server goes dark, the consequences, well, they hit fast and they hit hard.
Right off the bat, 3 pillars of your organization are in serious trouble. You've got your critical data, obviously. Then there's your operational traceability. That's the documented proof of every single action you've taken. And of course, your daily operations just grind to a halt. In any regulated field, this is a code red scenario, for sure. But the crisis doesn't just stop at your front door. It strikes at the very heart of your professional standing by putting your accreditation on the line.
Now, this document here is from ENAC, Spain's national accreditation body. But the idea is universal. Accreditation bodies don't just hand you a certificate and then disappear. They are constantly running tough evaluations to make sure your systems are solid. And a major data failure? Well, that's probably one of the biggest tests your system's ever going to face.
And here is exactly what those auditors are looking for. Your system has to, must, make every change traceable. You've got to save original files and modified files. You need a log of who changed what and why. And you absolutely need a defined procedure for backup and recovery. A NAS failure puts a giant question mark next to every single one of these.
Okay, so the worst has happened. What's the playbook? How do you pivot from total hair-on-fire chaos to a controlled professional response? This is where your preparation really, really pays off.
Your first moves are everything. So, step 1, activate the contingency plan. This is not the time to be making things up as you go. Step 2, immediately switch to your alternative systems, like a backup server, just to keep the lights on. And step 3, and this one is completely non-negotiable, start logging things manually. Every action, every result, every little piece of data gets written down by hand to keep that chain of traceability intact.
But, look, getting the system back online is really only half the battle. The work is not over yet. Now comes the analysis and documentation phase, and believe me, it is just as critical as the emergency response itself.
As soon as things are stable again, you have to do a full-on evaluation. What was the true impact here? Was any data compromised? Every step you took and every decision you made now has to be formally and meticulously documented.
And this whole process, it's not just some internal best practice. It's about sticking to international standards, like ISO 22301. Think of it as the global rulebook for business continuity. It gives you the official roadmap for how to handle and document these kinds of events to prove you kept control.
Complying with this standard basically means this. You evaluate the full impact, you formally document the deviation from your normal procedures, and you register every single action you took. This complete record is your proof of resilience for any auditor that comes knocking on your door.
So, after all the chaos, the manual logging, and the paperwork, what is the true goal here? It all comes down to one powerful word: resilience.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? The ultimate test isn't preventing every single failure, because you can't. It's about demonstrating that when disaster does strike, you can keep right on going with complete control and a perfect paper trail.
And that is what auditors and accreditation bodies are really looking for. They don't expect a flawless record of 0 incidents. What they want to see is a robust, documented, and controlled response when things inevitably go wrong. That is what proves the real strength and maturity of your entire management system.
Which leaves us all with one final crucial question to think about. I want you to look at your own contingency plans. Are they just some documents you wrote up to check a box for compliance? Or are they living, tested procedures that are actually designed for true operational survival? The answer to that question could really make all the difference.